Sadly, this year passed away. We won't really go into detail about how, but it was tragic. But we just wanted to take a moment in this video to let her know, because I firmly believe that she's watching from the other side. She used to watch your guys' videos all the time, and she is probably hearing this.
Honestly, this was one of the worst things I've had to watch this year, and it wasn't just because of Tiffany's, overacting. Wasn't anything to do with that. The kind of condescending actingness of all of it, that all of it was the perfectly staged sitting there with a rose and the perfect lighting and the angle and the camera shots. No, nothing to do with that. It was because she decided it would be a brilliant idea on Mother's Day, on her adopted children's Mother's Day, to bring up the fact that their birth mum is no longer with them. Decided to broadcast that to everyone, to how many followers have they got? 2 point whatever million. Anyway, it's a lot of people, and of course the comments are praising them. Those kids looked uncomfortable as hell. They looked so uncomfortable. I can't believe that she would even think this would be a good idea. It happened not even that long ago. This is such a fresh thing in their minds, and she thought, hey, whilst we're all about the adopted children's backstories, because we know how much she loves to talk about their adoption stories right in front of them and give them those children look so uncomfortable. I honestly got secondhand embarrassment from watching it, based on the fact that Tiffany was doing this performative art at the very beginning. And then I got extremely upset for the children who had to sit there when they're trying to process the death of their biological mother, and you're trying to use it as content. What use is this? Views. That's the reason why. What good is this doing anyone? You need a lot of time, especially as a child. If that's happened to you, you need some time. You don't need to be... They're not even the ones telling the story. She is. Honestly, it made me pretty annoyed. And of course the comments are saying, what a lovely... But those people are kids. The people that watch her channel are literal children. And you can tell by the way that they edit their footage. It's very quick, fast-paced changing, lots of sound effects. Because guess what type of audience that attracts? Kids, because you need to try and keep their attention. You can tell that their content is made for kids, yet for some bizarre reason it never says it's made for kids. Anyway, I've had a bee in my bonnet about Not Enough Nelsons for a little while, because I think that the way that they try and portray themselves as being this ultra wholesome, happy-go-lucky family, and then the mum just randomly comes out of all this crap every now and again, just putting her kids underneath the spot. I've been saying this for about, I don't know how long now, maybe 9 months. I've been saying that their channel is bad news, and this to me just felt like a massive money grab. It felt like, hey, let's do this whole performative video on all the different types of mothers you can have, which I'm not poo-pooing that, and I'm not putting that down, so I don't want you guys to think, oh my god, Amy, why don't you care about all the different types of mothers that there are? That's not it. But the thing is that she has seen this as an opportunity to capitalize off of it, which maybe in some sort of area that is good business strategy, but unfortunately it falls flat on the moral front. And the thing is that she's out here just telling their stories. Why are you bringing up their dead mum? The dead mum that just died this year. She then goes on to say we're not talking about the way in which she died, and then goes on to talk about addiction. I'm love. Of course you're not going to bloody talk about the way in which she died, if that was to do with it, because you're I'm trying not to swear. Your whole platform, your audience is children. They wouldn't even grasp that content. That they wouldn't grasp that idea anyway. Oh my goodness gracious me! This video really did upset me, because those poor kids, I don't care how old they are, 16, 17, however old, they looked really sad and uncomfortable. In fact, when they actually turned the camera on and they started, recording, they were already crying. What makes you think that is a good idea? Of course, the kids are always willing, and always, whenever the kids appear on camera for these sorts of sit down, let's talk about biological mum, they never look happy. They don't. And everyone talks about it and everyone brings it up and says they don't look very happy. And then the little fans will come along and be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Like on this video alone, do you know how many, oh, Tiffany, it's such an amazing thing you're doing. You're so brave. You're so brave for sharing this. It's not her story to tell. Oh my gosh, I'm so infuriated.
And I have to tell you a little story. One time when I was in, I think it was 7th grade, I had wanted to be this certain style, and it was like the ZZ Top Girl style. So my hair was crazy, and I'd wear like little skirts, and I'd wear socks with high heels in 6th grade. Yeah, I really wanted that look.
Although I won't lie to you right now, Tiffany single-handedly gave me the most funniest, 2 minutes of my life when she was retelling the best story she has with her mum. Basically, right, I don't know her full backstory, so please do not come at me. I don't know it. I'm just literally going off based on what she has said in this video. She was like, I had such a good childhood. We had horses and land, basically insinuating that she was well off, right? She was well off. She was basically telling us this story of she was having a really bad day, because then she went off in her little outfit that her mum had bought her. Her mum bought her a whole new set of clothes, and then she dropped her bags on the floor, and then she looked and, oh no, there's socks. Why do my socks have grass in them? I'm not making it up. And then she saw this girl who looked so cute and she wanted to be them so badly. So then she left school and asked to be picked up, and then her mum said, okay, I'll take you shopping. I'm sorry. What story is that? What story? So hard done by. Honestly, I swear to God. All this is screaming is I was spoiled when I was growing up and my mum bought me things. And then she somehow manages to put some sort of a moral spin on it by saying, I'm so glad that my mum listened to me that day when I said I wasn't feeling very cute. I'm sorry. I'm really going to try and put my bitter, horrible, nasty side out of this equation, because I am well aware that maybe I sound a bit of a bee, and I do get that. But I don't understand why.
All the stuff for that look. For Christmas, I asked for it, and I had it all.
I had my high heels and I went to school, and it was just a horrible day. Just everything was going wrong. And one of the things that went wrong is right in the middle of the hallway, my bag fell and all my books were all over the ground. And so I sat there and I'm picking up my books, I'm putting them away in my bag, and I looked down and my sock that's poking out of my high heel shoe literally had grass poking out of it. Shards of grass were poking out of my high heel shoe. And I somehow put on my dad's socks that he had mowed the lawn in, I think the day before. It was the worst. Right as I noticed my sock, I look up and the whole hall had cleared of people, and I saw one girl walking towards me, and she was wearing these little white kids and this little light blue mini skirt and this simple little shirt, and her hair was just simple, and she just looked so put together and so cute. I just felt so disheveled and just sad. And so I ended up getting picked up from school, and I went out in the car and I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I really don't like my style. I feel like I'm just not even cute. And here she is, just a few months after buying me all these fun clothes to have this style for Christmas. And she's like, why? And I said, I don't know. And I told her about that girl, and she said, you know what? Let's take you shopping. And that night was a party, and I felt so confident and cute to go to that party, and that's where I made a bunch of the new friends I would have throughout all of middle school and even high school. Comes down to that one day that my mom listened to me and listened that I felt just not cute and disheveled and sad.
Just how is this story just getting into the top moments that you had of your mum? I just don't get it. Whatever, it ain't my story to tell. But that basically told me all I need to know. I'm gonna be real. This whole thing, it then got on to her talking about the other different types, the mums who can't have kids, the kind of mum-like figures in your life, and then they then got on to bereaved parents, where she then decided to showcase one of her 2 adopted kids. Are 6 of them of the same adopted from the same mum? I'm not entirely sure. I think that's what she was insinuating. Anyone who knows them enough, please correct me. There's quite a lot of children, if I haven't already said. They're a very large family. But she then decides to showcase this example by actually bringing in the two girls from the mum that just died this year. Bearing in mind, we are in May. So it kind of happened that long ago. Just don't. What is this? Poor children. They looked uncomfortable. They were crying before they even started filming. Tiffany then decided to burst into tears, which I'm not saying they're not real. I'm not not being an absolute psychopath about this, like, obviously, but the thing is that the whole thing just felt so performative. It felt like it was for views. Like, you're doing this on Mother's Day, so you know that people are going to be typing in those keywords, you know Mother's Day is going to be trending, and all of that comes with it. So obviously you know that this is going to earn you a lot of money. This should have been handled so privately. They should not, like, what are you doing? Like, I feel like some of these family vloggers see these kind of things and think cash, money, this is what I can do with it. And I'm sure that there's going to be a kind of like, oh, I'm trying to spread awareness with this kind of stuff. Do we not get that education from a less, you know, invasive approach of literally pinning, like, not, I don't mean literally pinning, but actually having 2 kids who have only just lost their mum come on and just basically cry on camera? I just think it was awful. I really did. And I feel so sorry for those girls. I don't think what the mum did was right here. The fact that it was so staged is not helping her cause. I mean, they've quite literally got a whole, like, cameraman footage setup going on, like they always have. They've got perfect lighting and a perfect pretty location. And it just felt so set up, so done. They'd obviously been thinking about this for a little while, and I just think shame on the parents in this element. And I've always said this about their channel. I just think in some ways they really can be worse than the Doherty dozen. But that's just my own thoughts and feelings.
And I just wanted her to know how much we love you and how grateful we are that you went through 6.
One person said, this is just the weirdest thing ever to post about. I hope and pray that the girls really did want to post and talk about their birth mums on camera. Someone else said, I don't think this was an appropriate video to post. The kids are obviously upset. I don't know why you would shove a camera in their face and make them talk about it. Finally, someone with common sense. This is such a fresh wound for these girls and a whirlwind of complicated feelings, but ultimately, they've just lost their biological mother, and any chance of reconnection has been severed by death, and the fact that she put a camera in their faces and pretty much interviewed them about the death of their mother is ridiculous. I don't understand how she as a mother could think this was okay to let alone film but to upload. She at least could have left them out the video and just had a one-on-one talk with the camera. Blasphemy. Yeah, I do actually understand where this person's coming from and the fact that she could have just left them off screen, but then again, I don't think that would be very fair either, because it's not really her story to tell, even though obviously she would have had a lot of contact with the mum over the course of, you know, the kids' lives. I do understand that Tiffany is a part of, you know, the mum's life. I do understand that. I don't think in this case it should be anyone apart from the children's opportunity to talk, but I don't think that the way of them doing it was very fair, and no person is going to be able to get over the death of a parent within a couple of months, and I don't think that was appropriate to do or show, because at the end of the day it was done to, you know, bring awareness to the channel, to, you know, for money, for views. That was all it was. That's the reason why they wanted to approach this topic on Mother's Day. Do you know what I mean? They know people are going to be talking about it. And Tiffany was getting a hell of a lot of praise in this video, as she always is getting a lot of praise from her fans, which are literal children. And it is so upsetting to see, because the amount of times that she's done things quite similar to this, where she has overshared and shared to private personal information. Like, remember that video that she did quite recently of her, like, talking to her kid about the birds and the bees and stuff, and she decided to film that. And film, was it a purity ring? I only just learnt what that even was giving their child like a purity ring, like the dad was. Anyway, they filmed all of this. I covered it. DCP covered it. Other people covered it. They filmed all of this. They film moments like this that are so, why would you share? Why would you share? Does this mum just think the whole world is just like sunshine and rainbows or something? Because that is literally the vibe that I get. I just get this vibe that she literally just thinks that the whole entire world is just like sunshine and rainbows, and I'm just like, what? Like, bring you down to earth, woman. Like, this is such a silly video, and I feel that, not silly, I feel like it's a horrendous video. It's silly for her to make. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I do know, you know, I am sure that there are people out there who do want that sense of comfort, that they're not alone if they are experiencing bereavement, or, you know, they're unable to have children. I get it. Like, I do understand it. I understand fundamentally why she might have thought it was okay to do this video. However, at the end of the day, they make money off this kind of stuff, and I just think it was in really, really poor taste. But, you know, I can understand why some people would be all for it. They maybe just want to seek that comfort, and they won't realise the negative connotation this this video has, especially on her kids. You know what I mean? So please don't think that I'm just being like, oh, super dismissive and just, you know, like, you know, how dare she talk about this and that, because that's not it at all. I just worry that you are breaching this, you're breaching serious privacy, just privacy issues with your kids. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically what I really wanted to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.